Hello, and welcome to the Public Good Radio Show Recap. This is Yolanda Hill from the Partnership for the Public Good, speaking to Geovaria Hernandez, Push Buffalo Climate Justice Organizer. She's here to talk about an upcoming event at Canalside called The Rise for Climate, Jobs, and Justice, taking place on September 8th, and other environmental issues centered around Buffalo. So the first question I have for you, Geovaria, am I saying your name right?
You just say Geo.
Geo. Cool. The first question I have for you, Geo, is can you explain what you do as a climate justice organizer at Push Buffalo?
Yeah, definitely. So first and foremost, I was brought on really to assess where we are in terms of climate justice, get out on the field, on the grounds, actually talk to people, build those relationships to actually get that hardcore people-to-people data as to what they're facing, what they're involved in terms of climate and energy use. So that means also facilitating our Energy Democracy Committee meetings. I facilitate it most of the time. Sometimes Sage Green, who's our community energy development planner, she facilitates that as well. But really working hand in hand as to how do we assess what's really going on in terms of climate injustice around the city of Buffalo, and how do we then advocate for implementation of more just and a more just transition toward renewable energy, toward an economy and a lifestyle that works for both people and the planet, not just driven by profit.
Okay, thank you for that. And so the event is taking place on September 8th at Canalside. It's centered around climate injustice, but can you tell us a little bit more about that event?
Yeah. The main focus of this event, number one, it's going to be a global day of action because on September 12th to the 14th in San Francisco, there's going to be the Global Climate Action Summit, where every mayor, every local elected official has been invited to join in San Francisco to talk about the climate and to talk about what needs to be done, really. And so the purpose of this event here in Buffalo, number one, we've chosen Canalside because it's a public space, but we've really seen the effects of gentrification hitting Canalside, even though it, like I said, it is a public space. So what you can expect there for the day of is really conversation and a fun atmosphere for both children and adults to actually convey their own experiences, but also see things in a more grander perspective as to what environmental racism is, what climate change is, because a lot of the times climate change and environmental justice pertains really to one demographic, which is white elder population. But the reality is that the people that have been hit the most and the worst are poor people of color, poor people, that includes white poor people, and people of color in general, regardless of their socioeconomic status. So really this needs to be a much more intersectional movement if we're actually going to build something that is good for the people and for the planet, especially in the city of Buffalo.
Okay, and so my final question for you is, what are your hopes for Buffalo as it relates to climate justice in like the short term and like in the near future?
In the near future, I definitely need to see an Office of Sustainability made up of a frontline community advisory board. We don't even have an Office of Sustainability, but yet we were able to make School 77 a reality. Now just imagine how much of a reality that can be all throughout the city of Buffalo if we had an Office of Sustainability with frontline community advisory members heading those projects all throughout the city of Buffalo. It's not just one section, it's not just Delaware District, it's not just Fillmore District that need to be revitalized, it's all of Buffalo for the greater good. Even thinking about PPGs for the greater good. Mm-hmm. And so I definitely see in the near future having an Office of Sustainability for the city of Buffalo, and also having set goals for renewable energy, because we don't center it enough. If this is the way that we need to go in order to reduce the effects that we as humans have on their environment, then we need to center what needs to be done in order to do that. And I know that the city of Buffalo has no set goals, and that's predominantly so that they won't be held accountable for if they fall short or not. But if they actually included and involved the community within that planning process, then it would be a much greater result. In terms of long term, I definitely see the city of Buffalo being a hub for, I think we're already a hub for a lot of innovations that we've made, but definitely being a hub for all people that have been here and that will be coming here, to center good local jobs for the people that live here, to have equity, to have standards for how we do things. That means having people live in decent communities, that they're not affected by the pollution or the asthma that is in their neighborhoods. I see so many kids all the time and so many elderly just suffering because they're so sick because of their environment. So I definitely see a long-term Buffalo being a healthy, sustainable city that adheres to all the needs of all its residents.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Gio, for joining us. Thank you all for watching the Public Good Radio Show recap. Again, this is Yolanda Hill with the Partnership for the Public Good, or PBG, just speaking with Gio Hernandez, Push Buffalo's climate justice organizer. To learn more about the work that she does at Push, and just to learn more about Push Buffalo in general, please visit pushbuffalo.org. Thank you all again, and take care.